Hey y'all, I'm Raina Harper, and welcome to EveRe-Watch Way, where I podcast a spell that takes a hold of you. I'm going to give a little sing-songy bit to start this episode off. Apologies in advance. She's a witch, her name's Emma, powers cause many dilemmas, sleepovers and romance shaker. Maddie's found her power taker, shed some tears, laugh and grin, croissants sure to lift your chin, magic hijinks making up every which way. And welcome to the show where I reminisce and recap the Nickelodeon fantasy series Every Which Way, where we cover each episode of the show, and I go into detail on everything relating to what happens with the show, what I remember from keeping up with it in 2014 and 15, and all the fun knowledge and commentary I can bring in with it. And I'm excited to welcome someone who is just teleported in using his magical powers, Michael Artice, host of the Gem Boys podcast and a very fun person. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. I've had a very hectic morning, but I think my day's finally calming down somewhat.
Sure. Yeah, I've had a pretty busy day too. But but you know what made up for it is watching these episodes that we're going to talk about in Every Which Way today, which are the No Sleep Sleepover. Yeah, talk about no sleep, and and Outta Hand. And both of those titles are very accurate. So I want to say thank you, Michael, for coming on my podcast today, coming on to the EveRe-Watch Way podcast. And I understand that you run a show yourself covering another nostalgic series. Why don't you tell us how you describe your programs and how you got into making it?
Yes, I am a co-host of the Gem Boys podcast, which may or may not be defunct. We're still working on that at the moment.
Sure.
Me and a couple other Gem Boys decided to get together and reminisce about Gem and just talk about whatever comes up with us. Usually we end up spieling about the Golden Girls or something similar, and we have a good time.
Very nice. Yeah. There is quite the connection because I've had two fellow Gem and the Holograms fans as guests on here before. You might know Jessica Houston and Amy Collins Russell. They've both been fantastic guests and seeing why there might be a reason that someone might connect to both Gem and to Every Which Way, at least for someone who happened to be in the right place to fall into both of them. So
oh, definitely.
So this being, I'd love to ask, this being your first experience with Every Which Way, when I once I approached you with the idea of coming on and telling you about it, what was your impression of whether you went what you thought it would be, and what were your biggest top line thoughts after watching these two episodes straight in the middle of it?
Okay, so when you first asked me, I was not familiar with the show at all. I have never heard of it whatsoever.
Basically, everyone in my life is in the same boat.
I was expecting like H2O, Just Add Water, Mako Mermaids kind of vibes, and for some reason, I was assuming the show was Australian. I'm thinking because I was thinking of H2O. I just assumed the show was Australian. So when I first started playing it, and I heard no Australian accents, I'm like, I guess it's not Australian, which is fine.
But then there's one Australian accent.
Yes, I was excited about that. I'm like, okay, we got one. This will work.
You were like 1/10 correct, I suppose.
Yes.
Just about. So how enjoyable did you find the show? I don't want to tip my hand of how we've. We haven't like tipped our hand to each other before about our thoughts on these particular ones, but did you find it enjoyable? What were your biggest takeaways?
I found it very enjoyable. This would have been right up my alley had I been a bit younger.
Yeah. Been in my age range at the
Yes.
time.
In fact, one of my as I watched this Saturday night, and my first
Yeah.
thing for because I always get my okay, I'm just gonna say it, I'm 40.
Yeah.
Um, I always get my meds slash vitamins ready on Saturday night for the week, and
Sure.
I'm watching this, and like the Nickelodeon commercial comes on. I'm like, oh, I haven't watched Nickelodeon in years, and I'm
Yeah.
watching this as I'm getting my meds ready for the week. So I'm like,
Hmm.
gosh, I sound like such an old fogey. But yes,
um.
I found it very enjoyable. It would have been right up my alley. It may still be right up my alley. I'm definitely gonna go back and rewatch it from the beginning.
Wow. That's what I love to hear. Glad to be making some converts, some witchy converts, I suppose.
Oh,
Um.
totally.
And yeah, the show's got the power, and as the theme song says, it casts a spell that takes a hold of you.
Oh,
Um.
totally.
And as we talked a little bit, and I might be sounding like a broken record for those who've listened to the previous episodes with Jessica and Amy, but like there are plenty of like direct comparisons one might draw between Gem and this. Um, like if I mean if you're looking for them, of course, like the special like sort of the roles the characters inhabit. Like there's a direct analog for like Gem being Emma, uh, Riot being Jax.
Oh, I didn't even
Uh,
see. I didn't connect that one. But yes,
you see it now, kind of
yes.
the and oh like he takes her to a tropical location, just like in the day the music died episode.
That did not even cross my mind. But yes, now that you mention it, it's right there.
Yeah, and Maddie being Pizzazz, um, and, and like the I assume that Pizzazz acted at least somewhat close to how Maddie does when she was in her teen years.
Oh, I'm sure. It's like if Pizzazz's mother was still around.
Yeah, and well, and was like problematic in the other way, like too self-involved as opposed to being not in the picture at all.
Yes.
And so yeah, there were so I'm excited to get your opinions on all the many wacky and not so wacky events that happen in these two episodes. We're gonna go through it with a fine tooth comb as we usually do,
Awesome.
and because I think these like I've of course like done a retrospective over the last few months over the entirety of the show up until here. I think these I don't say this lightly. These genuinely might be my favorite two episodes yet. Um, so and there's just a lot of great fun moments and one that really tugs on the heartstrings near the end. We'll see if how you feel, but we're gonna get to it. So we start off with the with Emma and her best friend Andy and Emma's dad having dinner, and they're about to clean up the dishes, and Emma offers to, but her dad's like, "Nah, you guys go do what you do something else, like you do scrapbooking or playing video games or getting ready for the sleepover at Maddie's house." He just sneaks that in at the end, uh, and it's Maddie's surprise sleepover. Uh, and then they walk away before they angrily realize what he just said. Like what? And but he like tries to dip out before like explaining properly. Um, it, he's not always a great parent. I'll say. Um, and oh, also he's like taking the glasses that Andy and Emma were drinking out of. He's about to like put them in the sink, but between shots, the glasses in his hand disappear. And so are we sure he's not magic himself? Ooh,
Oh, maybe.
yeah, it's definitely not just a continuity error. Um, I have the eye of a hawk for that stuff. Some and but he just begs them to go, like, for the sake of his own mental state, because Maddie's mom has been badgering him about that, and being like creepy and such. Did you get a sense of that? I mean, I know we haven't seen like everything up until now, but were you able to get a sense of
Not
the
really, because I didn't know what was going on because I'm just going
yeah.
into it, and then when they go to the sleepover and I realize that Maddie's the mean girl, quote
Hmm.
unquote, and I'm like, okay, why is her dad like basically forcing her to go to the sleepover?
Hmm. It's something that Maddie's mom pressured him into pressuring them into going
Okay,
to.
but
'Cause,
that leads to another question. Maddie
yeah,
obviously does not like them, so why is
right.
her mother forcing her? I guess you'd say frenemies to her
Yeah.
sleepover.
So so Maddie's agenda is to see whether um Emma so at the end of the last season, both Emma and Maddie lost their powers after the big climactic battle against the school evil principal witch.
Yes,
Um
I got that after because I wanted to go in completely blind, so I
yeah,
so I read nothing before I started watching, and then I backtracked and was reading everything up to.
sure. So so that then but Emma quickly was able to just get her powers back. They just respawned within her, I suppose. But Maddie's have gone missing, and and her mom has secretly like stolen them, or like they've serendipitously landed on her, and she's been like haven't just living it up using her powers and not telling her daughter. Um and so and of course, not knowing this, Maddie is instinctively suspicious of Emma, so she devises this sleepover plan misguidedly in order to try and force Emma into revealing that she has the powers back when Emma was trying to like keep that a secret.
Yes, when I first watched this, I was trying to figure out who knew about magic and who didn't, and I was
Mm-hmm.
assuming that Emma was a witch.
Yeah.
Maddie or someone saw her use her powers, so she was trying to out her as a witch. Before I
Mm-hmm.
realized that Maddie herself was also a witch and had lost her powers.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a bad assumption to make. That's yeah. I get where you where it got that impression. Um, Is it yeah, this show, like, I definitely know, like, does give people like just jumping in for a couple episodes a disadvantage. Like there's a lot that they that that is like explained earlier that you
Yes.
don't like get. But of course I couldn't expect every guest to fully study up uh on everything beforehand. That's a lot. And
And I get the impression this show has a lot of continuity, which I love because I was
mhm,
actually going back and trying to read everything, and which made me even more confused because there are so many
yeah.
characters that weren't in these episodes.
Yeah, there are a bunch of characters who were just in the first season and then leave. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, but Jax and as the character we see, Desdemona, like they carry forward. Or I think Desdemona, as I don't recall, but yeah, Jax and I think there's at least one other person who carries forward past season two, and because there's four seasons in total.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so but but be, but because of Maddie going off the rails at like and because of her mom like being annoying about things, people want they uh Emma's dad says that people want him transferred out of the district, like it's his fault that Maddie's acting up. What? I didn't get that at all. That was so weird. Like, I mean, I suppose like yeah, people will lash out at anyone for any old thing, but but So he's just so exasperated. They're threatening to transfer me out of the district. And so Emma's like, okay, so you want me to sleep over at Maddie's house for the good of the school? Yes. And and then like, glad you're both doing this. And then Andy's like, whoa, whoa, I didn't agree. Whoa, what's in it for me? Well, I don't know. Well, can you give me a school-wide master key? No. Uh, uh, unlimited mozzarella sticks? No. Okay, an air freshener for my locker? Okay. Uh, and then, yeah, apparently the sleepover just, like, starts immediately. Like, they're told about this, like, right on the spot
Yes.
when they have to go.
Well,
And
I do want to add one thing before we move on.
yeah,
I don't think the unlimited mozzarella sticks was that big of an ask. I think
no.
that's totally doable.
Yeah. Like, because of course, how many mozzarella sticks can you eat? You know?
Well, if you're asking me, I could probably put away a lot of them, but
Sure. Yeah. Just like Clash disguised as Gem. Like, I'm famished.
yes.
Ballsy, I want to eat. Remember that? or no, the maitre d was Baldy. She calls this guy sitting down at the table Fatso.
Yes.
uh, so yeah, the sleepover is just thrust on them immediately. And if you notice, like, they basically, like, the morning after the sleepover, they're getting their backpacks on. So like they had an all night sleepover, like, right on a school night.
That's what I thought.
What the heck? How did they swing that?
Right.
Did they get like 30 minutes of sleep?
Oh yeah, because there was a lot going on at that sleepover.
Mm-hmm. Like, you'd assume, like, when the episode begins, that it's like a Friday, you know?
Yes.
But they're doing like they plan to be awake all night doing activities and stuff, but it's a school night. It's wild.
Maybe Maddie's mom's just trying to tire her out so she doesn't find out that she has her powers.
Yeah. That makes sense, actually. And then Andy he's like, I'm gonna go grab my bow staff and make sure I can ward Maddie away during this whole thing. Speaking of which, I told you earlier that Andy is my favorite character.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite character?
Based on these 2 episodes, my favorite character is Sophia.
Sophie?
Yes. She's hilarious.
So Sophie is the comedy MVP. Yes.
She is hilarious.
She has many facets. We'll say that.
I love when she was going through her favor catalog.
Her favor box. Yes.
Her favor box.
AKA her blackmail box. That's what it really is.
Yes.
And so Ursula tries to put up a banner getting ready for the sleepover, but it's too far to reach from where she put the ladder. You put the ladder like 4 feet away from the wall. This is your fault. And so instead of pushing the ladder closer to the wall, she tries, she's like about to cast a spell to put it up, and then she's like, no, I shouldn't. But the time's running out before the sleepover starts. I should probably just... It's the right thing to do to cast a spell. She does that kind of awful, like, rationalization that we all do sometimes.
I got a lot of Bewitched vibes from that.
Yeah. It's like, well, I gotta. It reminded me of the scene in The Simpsons when Homer is at the bar and, like, dazed in the mirror. And he's like, I'm in no condition to drive. Wait, I'm drunk. I shouldn't listen to myself. Like, of course, it's not drastic like that, but we all, like, do stupid rationalizations like that sometimes.
Oh, totally.
And so she's like, okay, I'll just do a spell then to clean up the room right after smacking her hand like, nope, nope, better not use magic. But actually I will. she she uses a spell to like push the throw pillows the right way. It's like
Yes.
that would have taken 2 seconds to do by hand, but you know, laziness. What are you gonna do? Um, so the banner spells out that this is the 10th annual sleepover. Um, it's the no sleep sleepover, and all the girls have an awkward greeting, and they say each other's names in a circle. Maddie, Emma, Andy, Maddie, Katie, Matt, Andy, Emma, and and then like there's every combination between those four, and then Sophie isn't quite in the loop, and then she shouts, "Jimmy, what?
I thought we were
we
saying
just
our
saying
favorite names.
Yeah." she, she's not mean spirited like the rest. She just wanted to have a nice time. And then so in order to get through the night, Andy literally pitches a tent in the living room. I love that.
I like that too.
They should have had the "It takes a lot to survive in this world" song.
Yes.
Um and then Maddie gives a jab like, "Yeah, you belong in the wild." So sometimes the back and forth jabs are pretty good. Um and the and then Matt and then Maddie says, "I'm happy you're here, Emma." And then like sort of awkwardly reaches out to like touch her shoulder. And like, "Hey, thanks for coming." Like gives a super light touch and then yanks her hand away. And then but then they start playing sound effects of a
Yes.
thunderstorm, and like Katie starts flickering the lights on and off with her hand. Um, oh no, thunderstorm! Oh no, the we oh no, we gotta shelter, like save yourselves. And then Katie pulls out a garden hose in the middle of the room where everyone can see and just sprays them with water.
I thought
Nice.
that was a little overkill.
Yeah, and like great job, like because Maddie says like, "Oh, you 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 better use a spell and save us, Emma." Like, wow,
Very
Maddie,
subtle.
you're not like, I know Maddie's not very smart in general, but great job tipping your hand completely. Like the purpose of the sleepover, you just tipped your hand. Um, and and of course everyone's just looking at Maddie, and Emma just look at Katie like, "Excuse me, did you literally just spray us with a hose inside?" And try to make us think it's a thunderstorm. Is it they literally like spray us with water, but spray us with a hose, and then tried to tell us it's raining. That's an expression, but they literally did it. Um, um, and so it's it's a storm. And then Emma's like, "Nice try, but I don't have my powers." And then the school gossip, misinformation. What'd you think of misinformation?
She was something.
Yeah, she's a funny presence. She's like she's like Cool Trash Magazine, as Amy
Yes.
said. Um, I I love it. She's just so she's very peppy, and she's very like eager to get to crack the story,
Yes.
bring you the hot gossip that's going on of people sleeping over at a house. Uh, that's very newsworthy.
And spraying
Um,
each other with water.
yeah, when I was in school, that was definitely what I was interested in, just seeing the live streams of people's nights. elsewhere. Like, yeah, it was definitely interesting. I'm sure loads of people are tuning in.
I'm sure.
Um, um, loads of their friends are tuning in, and but apparently Maddie called for this publicity. Like they're just mugging for the camera, like, "Ooh, hey,"
Yes.
and
In
and
their
and
outfits they totally didn't plan.
yeah, doesn't Sophie say that? Let's go to our outfits that we totally didn't plan for this.
Yes.
And then Maddie is like, why'd you just say that out loud? Oh, smile for the camera. And of course Emma and Andy just roll their eyes and like, we don't want to be part of this. And so the girls are doing their sleepover / slumber party. Meanwhile, the Diego and Daniel and Jax are doing their manly all nighter. It's
All
different,
nighter.
and it's it's not a sleepover. It's an all nighter. That's different. You see, um, uh, and it's at Daniel's house, and they rib each other about their partners. Like, what? It's been forever since I've seen you. You're dating Emma now. What? Well, you're dating Maddie, so so I don't think you have room to talk. And well, you dated Maddie first. Uh, yeah. Well, I can't believe you're hanging out with her. Yeah, she's totally running me ragged, and I can't get enough of her, says Diego. What did you think of what'd you think of the two of them, Diego and Daniel in general?
I think I like Diego more than Daniel. Daniel just seems
Mm.
kind of bland, I
He, he's
guess.
he's Rio basically.
Yes. Yes.
As except as far as I remember, Daniel never kicks any plants, so points for him. Um, and never like goes on a rant about liars and deception. Um,
But he already knows he already knows Emma's secret, so
Maddie's driving me crazy, and I can't get enough of her. You need to get your head checked, man, says Daniel. Yeah, correct. Yeah, I don't think I could ever date someone who's like Maddie.
Oh,
Um,
definitely not.
yeah. I mean, I've talked plenty about how awful like Maddie's personality is and how like toxic like the relationships around her are. I don't. I'm sure you picked up on that. I don't need to go
Yes.
into that a whole lot. Um, but then Jax shows up and he's like, "Hey, I'm here for the sleepover," and they're like, "All nighter, excuse you. Sleepovers are for girls." Uh, but the
Boys don't
and then
sleep.
yeah, and then he's told not to mess with the T3's supply closet. It's perfectly organized exactly how they want it. Oh, okay. Um, that were you confused by what they meant by T3?
Yes. I had
The
no idea.
the terrible three are Daniel's younger siblings.
Okay.
They're mischievous and pull all sorts of pranks. You see. Um,
Yeah, some of the
you
characters who were not in this episode.
yeah yeah so but then Ursula, Maddie's mom, summons Sophie to Maddie's room and like, hey, I need to I need to talk to you, Sophie. Ooh, you want me to use my extra strong foundation for all your wrinkles?
I love that part.
One of two extra savage burns that Sophie just dropped in this episode. And like I like Sophie, like is like treated as isn't like admonished for them, like is like no one like really bats an eye at them. Like she's treated as pretty innocent. I think she knows what
Oh,
she's doing.
oh, she definitely knows more than she lets on.
yeah, like she gives a like after both of those savage birds, she gives a very knowing expression. Like oh yeah, I said what I said. Um, and her mom is like, uh, no, and well, I just wanted to make sure you're keeping my secret at the favor that you're doing for me. Oh, I let me check my favor box.
I
Then
love this
she
part.
sits down on the bed and mimes getting out the favor box, and then leafs through it for all the favors that she has logged in there. Katie, 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 Sebastian, Katie, the mayor of Miami. She that tracks actually. Sophie would have blackmail on the mayor of Miami, um, and the prime minister of Canada.
Yeah, I wonder
Yeah,
what she had. Wonder what she had on him.
yeah. The, is is Sophie single-handedly swaying like world events?
Probably.
Probably.
I could see that.
Like like uh like she has some dirt on all sorts of world leaders. Um, the yeah, I bet she yeah that would make sense actually. Sophie pulling the strings, um,
Yes.
and uh, and so oh yeah, I got your favor of make keeping the secret that you have Maddie's powers. Right, yeah, that one. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. And oh, good. By the way, what's this thing with the Prime Minister of Canada? Oh, I can't tell you. It's a matter of national security. Oh, okay then. Yeah. So we're never gonna find out, but I bet it's real important. Um, so then we get the scene of the guys attempting to build a net trap. Like, oh, we're building this thing, uh, and someone's gonna step into it, and then pull the thing, and then they're trapped in a net, and but they're like struggling to build it, and then when the other two guys are looking away, Jax casts a spell with his wizard powers to 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 complete it, and neither of them bat an eye at this. Oh, good, the trap's done. Thanks, Jax. When we were looking away for 5 seconds, we also didn't hear the spell that he said out loud. Turn these things into a sweet trap. There we go. Uh, and uh, and then they're like, what are we gonna where are we gonna use it? And then Daniel's like, no, we shouldn't use it. If we do, I'm gonna get in trouble. I just know it because I've been having horrible luck with getting in trouble recently. Hey, the girls are having a sleepover right now. Why don't we go take this over and use it to prank them? Oh, good idea. Daniel's into that idea instantly. Like he's gotten into trouble over and over with Emma's dad, the principal. Yeah, this will definitely go okay if you use this trap on his daughter at her sleepover. That won't cause any problems. Um, and so they're like, yeah, let's go do it. Um, and that so then they play charades at the sleepover. Maddie and Sophie have to cheat. the like because of course Sophie's not all there. You see, at least right now, you never know what you're gonna get with Sophie.
That's true.
And so there, the but Maddie has to whisper like, bunny ears. It's
Two words.
2 words. and Maddie and Andy are not having it. They're like, "What? You guys are cheating. Stop." No, we're not. I'm just giving clues, and you're meanwhile, you guys are giving awful clues. Like like the clue for walk like an Egyptian being this.
Bangles reference for the win. I
Yes,
loved that.
yeah, exactly. And Em and Andy are like, that is the right clue. That's how the dance goes. Um, uh, and then Maddie says, "Well, you're just upset because you're losing." And then Andy say in unison, "Because you're cheating." Uh, spitting facts. Um, and so then Maddie's like, "I don't know. Let's do something else." "Yeah, let's do anything else," says Andy. "Ooh, anything else? Literally anything? Okay, let's do makeovers."
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. But and Andy's like, "Oh dear, I'd rather die." Essentially, uh, well, uh, we're gonna do makeovers, but it would be a shame if someone cast a spell to make all the makeup kits disappear. But oh well.
Maddie is so subtle.
Yeah, and and Andy's like, Can't you do it for me?" "No, I can't." "Oh man, I better get those unlimited mozzarella sticks."
Which I don't think is that big of an ask.
Yeah, this is a big favor that Mr.
Yeah.
Alonzo's calling in for someone who's not his daughter and
Yes.
essentially enlisting her. Like what? Why did he have to make Andy do it too? Like I can understand Emma making Andy do it. Why did her dad make Andy do it? I that wasn't fair.
It was not.
Um, and all she gets in exchange is an air freshener. Come on now.
Yes.
Um, so so then Daniel gives the group options. So they sneak outside the house and they're like, "All right, how are we gonna get in?" "Well, there's a kitchen window that that's always unlocked." "Oh, you oh, how do you know this?" "Oh, 'cause you dated Maddie before." Dude, what? Why are you being like this? Anyway, we could climb. If that doesn't work, we could climb the tree that goes right up to Maddie's room. "Oh, you know all these tips and tricks, eh?" And then they're like, "Dude, chill." I am chill. I'm Mr. Chill. Yeah, he is indeed very chill. Um, so, but I love this next scene though. Andy gives Sophie a zombie makeover. Um,
Yes.
and does a great job at it.
I
She's a
know it was
good
great.
she's a good makeup artist. Um, but I bet she kills at Halloween time. And but then Maddie is put off, like, "Ugh, you look hideous." And then Sophie's like, I, and I knew exactly what Sophie was gonna say, like before the scene even started. She looks in the mirror. "I love it."
Yes.
That's the obvious punchline, of course. Um, but then she's like, "Yeah, this is great, undead chic."
Very
Um,
Monster High.
yeah. Uh, so then Maddie's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, this is great. Yeah, undead chic is in the fashion. It's in all the magazines." "Oh really?" said Andy. "Yeah, why don't I do one for you? I've seen it around a lot." "Oh okay." I was not prepared for what Sophie says next. I was genuinely not, because Sophie says, "Oh yeah, Maddie's great at horror makeup. Just look at her." I, I don't know about you. My mouth was agape for a full minute. That that's that's as She's gonna need some ice. She's gonna need the burns unit.
Oh, totally.
Uh, call an ambulance. Sophie burned Maddie so hard, and what kills me, on top of that, is her just knowing expression.
She totally knows what she's doing.
Yep, yep. I've like lightly speculated that Sophie's actually just genuinely really smart the whole time and
Yes.
just playing a bit to fool everyone.
And it's
That
working.
uh, this these episodes validated that quite a bit, I think. So, but yeah, she's very committed to the bit.
Yes.
Uh, just you never know what to expect. Um, one there's one episode in the first season where she out of nowhere like does the Vulcan hand gesture. So she's like, we come in peace. Uh, I think I think the joke is that she was supposed to like hold up the peace sign,
Oh.
but but then she did the Vulcan hand
Yeah.
gesture. It's like so, and it's like the show has never referenced Star Trek before or after that. So it, so that's what makes it funnier, I guess.
Yes.
Um, did you ever watch Star Trek?
Yes.
It reminds me of a line that Spock says in the original series, like in like the parallel universe episode, I think,
Mm-hmm.
where Spock says like, oh, like uh, a very smart person can act as though they're stupid, but not the other way around.
That
Um,
is very true.
I think that's what Sophie is enacting right now.
Yes.
And it makes sense because she know that she would be a Trekkie. You know,
Yes.
she would have that philosophy in mind. You see,
Yes.
mind blown. It if I ever get to like have a conversation with any of the writers of the show, I'm gonna ask them about this, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, you're the first person ever to pick that up! Congratulations!" And then they'd bring me in to write the years later fifth season or
Yes.
something. Yeah. So then Maddie offers to give Andy a zombie makeover and says that it'll be as decrepit as possible, which Andy gleefully accepts. But obviously Maddie is playing her.
Of course.
And Maddie, of course, makes her look pretty and girly and frilly.
Which to Andy is decrepit.
Yeah, exactly. And she goes back into her tent with Gigi in the room. It's like, no, oh, hey Andy, don't look at me. Well, Maddie, did you up? I want to see it. No, don't look at me. Not on your life. I'm not showing you what I look like. I'm hiding in here to not show my face. And then we see all the different production equipment that Gigi's brought in. Brought in like big heavy lights and rigs and such.
Production value.
Yeah, she brought all that stuff from home. She's a true professional, you see.
Yes.
She's plugging the stuff in for, as she says, her 12 camera live stream cast. That's redundant. Just say live stream or live cast. Don't say both. And and you can tell what the joke is going to be a mile away. She's plugging in all the different things. Oh no, the power got knocked out at the house. Oh dear.
How did this happen?
Yeah. How could this have happened? and then Sophie wanders into the room in the dark. Is like, hello, anyone here? And both Gigi and Andy are in the room. Neither of them say anything. Like, excuse me? Like, you're not gonna tell Sophie that you're there? Like, oh hey, we're just over here. Come on now. And but then the guys sneak into the living room and they they turn on their flashlight. And it's like, oh my God, they see Sophie in zombie makeup. They think it's a real zombie. Ah! They scream. And
so I did have a question because they're all talking about this creature and they're running away from this creature.
Yeah.
Do things like that happen often in these episodes? I mean, do they actually like have to face monsters and this and that and the other thing?
In terms of zombies, no. We have no indication that zombies exist for real, but everyone just for some reason here believes it.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
they're just ever like not a single person questions that zombies exist.
Right.
They're just like, oh my god, there's a zombie. We all know what to do about zombies. We gotta, capture it or destroy it or something. We know the rules from all the zombie movies and video games. You see, they talk about the rules of how to deal with zombies learned through movies and video games, um, and uh, and so everyone in the house they rush in and start screaming, ah, wah, ah! Like, why are the guys here? Ah, wah! like, like, because they of course see Sophie in zombie makeup, which they weren't expecting. She sees the guys in the house, which she wasn't expecting. So screaming all around, it's hilarious. Um, and I love how Emma attempts a spell out of desperation, like, oh my god, there's a monster, spell, but then she gets bumped by someone and the spell ends.
Yes.
It reminds me of the bear interrupting the hologram in Last Resort.
Yes.
The bear is blocking Synergy's hologram projections. So everyone scatters, and then Sophie huddles in Andy's tent. Where did Andy go? That's what I want to know. Why didn't Andy go back to her own tent? Oh well. But the guys think that they're real zombies and like, we need to save the girls. Oh yeah. Where'd they go? Oh, we need to. I bet we can find Maddie in her closet. She always hides there. And then Diego says, "Of course you know that." Because he's not let this go. That's like bringing up that Daniel dated her before. And I love that Maddie clings to Emma's leg out of fear like a little kid.
Yes.
Don't leave me. I'm not gonna leave you, Maddie. But just get off my leg so that we can, move faster. I'm scared. And then Maddie's like, why didn't you cast a spell? And then Emma says, I tried to. And that's one of Maddie's many tricks or manipulations. Aha! I got you to admit it. Haha. You were able to cast a spell. When did you get him back? A couple days ago. But that's not important right now. We gotta keep safe and keep each other safe from the zombie. Let's go to my mom's closet, which has a titanium lock on it. No, she says, I'm just gonna go there while you, and not let you stay. So you're gonna just sit with your mom's shoes while we fight the creature? Yeah. Alright then. Yeah, everyone just buys that there is a real monster/zombie.
Yes.
No one is skeptical about this. And then Diego surmises that that Maddie and Emma both lost their powers, so how could there be like a magical monster here? Oh, maybe the witch who stole Maddie and Emma's powers sent this creature here to destroy them. Oh yeah, great idea. That's a great theory, Diego. and then Gigi says it like with near Andy. I don't know how this happened. 1 minute I'm plugging in all my high power, heavy duty live stream equipment, and the next minute, bzz, lights go out. I don't know. How could this have happened? I don't get it. And then Gigi's like, oh, I get it now. Oh man. Or just the fact that she was like, she figures it out eventually. Good. I'm glad she did.
Me too.
Like, oh, at least she took responsibility for it, kind of. And then so they're like, so Andy's like, I'm gonna go to the fuse box, see if I can fix anything there. And then Gigi's like, no, don't leave me. But I need to go like fix the power. What do I do if the zombie comes over here? Just play dead. That'll work. It works about 50% of the time. Okay, good. That's yeah, yeah, 50-50.
Yeah.
And what made me really mad though, we get the establishing shots of the different locations. Um, we we see that on the house's exterior, the lights are still on outside. Ah, great. Does that could that ever happen? Like the power gets knocked out the house, but the outdoor lights remain on. That doesn't seem realistic to me.
Oh, maybe they're solar. Maybe the outside lights are solar powered.
Oh, maybe yeah. Because Maddie and her mom are huge Lord fans. Yeah. So solar power. But that makes sense actually.
We'll just go with that.
Yeah. Um.
Or it was the evil witch that sent the zombie.
Oh yeah. I think it was that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, well, it can't be Ursula who's doing that because Ursula knows nothing about this, as we know. Ursula is away out of the house, picking up the pizza. Um. Oh, right, I forgot. They order pizza because no one wants to eat the hors d'oeuvres that Ursula made. Yeah. Um. And so the guys are like, they regroup and they're like, hey, why don't we use the trap that we brought on the zombie? Uh, if it's probably still around. And then they're like, what if it's just left on its own? Jack says. But then they hear Sophie mumbling and they think it's the zombie. Which to be fair, that's exactly what they thought was the zombie before.
Yeah.
So being consistent, I like that. This and Sophie, I love this, it is mumbling the Pledge of Allegiance. She's a very patriotic girl. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Yeah, I love it. Meanwhile, so evil Desdemona, we meet her. How confused were you when she popped in?
Okay, I was very confused, but when I put in my notes, and I quote, let me find it in here. Hold on.
Yeah.
And I quote, "Who is this diva? An evil witch, I assume?"
Yeah. Yep. She's a member of the Witches' Council, like the higher up magical elders, but she's been corrupted by the full moon.
Yes, I found that out after reading up on it later. But I absolutely loved her when I first saw her. I'm like, who is this diva?
Yeah. So evil Desdemona is at the 7 and is like, one pepperoni pizza and make it fast. I don't have much time. She says it to the poor employee. Oh my god! And then she goes to a table and is like, sees a bottle of ketchup. I remember these things that they have in the human world. And then holds it up to her face.
I loved
ketchup in her face.
I loved her.
Yeah, she's such a diva.
Yes.
And then meanwhile, Ursula and Katie come in to pick up the pizza order. We have a pizza order under Countess Van Pelt.
Oh, I love that part.
She put her name on the order as Countess.
Yes, I love that part.
It's great.
But why did she order so many pizzas?
Well, it's got a lot of people,
There's like 4 girls. Well, wait, there's 6 girls. She didn't know the boys were there.
Yeah.
Because I put in my So I put in my notes first. Is that one pizza per person? But then I realized the boys crashed it, so I'm like 2 pizzas per person.
Yeah, they have 2 whole pizzas per person.
Yes.
And
I could eat that, but
yeah, oh, we forgot to mention that Katie is going along for the pizza pickup to make sure that Ursula doesn't put any of her disgusting toppings on, like anchovies or duck meat. I think what Maddie was thinking of was foie gras.
uh
Um, which yeah, that tracks because I'm not kidding. At one point, Maddie's mom is shown to be eating caviar pizza.
oh, okay.
So but then after ordering the pizzas under Countess Van Pelt, she sees Emma's dad sitting at the table. But wait, didn't wait? Isn't this the same night as the dinner where Francisco told them
Yeah,
to go? Why is Francisco eating at the 7 after having dinner?
maybe you want a snack.
Yeah, I won't begrudge him that. Sure.
And I have to say, because he was the first character I saw, basically,
Yeah.
I think he's very cute.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Uh,
I just had to say that.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Emma, you might be getting a new parent soon. I don't know. I'm sure he'd like you better than Maddie's mom.
Well, that could be debatable.
Yeah. So, but then she's like, "Oh, hey, Francisco, don't worry, I'm not following you. I'm just picking up pizzas for the girls. Don't worry, this is not me following you." Oh, how reassuring.
Yes.
How's it going? Oh, good. And then she pulls up a chair and sits down. But yeah, good job. And then starts blathering on about the sleepover and things. But then she sees Desdemona in the room, is like, "Oh, actually, instantly hides her face. Actually, I better go. I need to warm up the girls' bottles before bedtime." What? You just regressed back to have it when Maddie was a baby, I guess. What? What was that supposed to mean?
I
Like,
don't know.
just funny. I, that I mean that's what it always boils down to, I guess.
Yeah.
Just yeah, and and then I love how she makes Katie carry all the pizzas, like 13 pizzas high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I counted the number of pizzas.
Oh, there actually were 13.
Yeah. Better not let Desdemona see me. So she clearly has some history there.
Yes.
So sneaking around in the room, Daniel says, "All right, we got the trap here. We gotta be very subtle." And then Diego shouts, "Yummy humans with fresh brains right here." Yeah, great job, Diego. And then Sophie comes out. She hears Diego's voice and is like, "Is that Diego?" And then they hear her. They trap her in there, and then everyone screams. And like, oh my god, the trap, Everyone rushes into the room, and then the power comes back on, of course. And then they realize, oh, it's just Sophie in zombie makeup. We were scared over nothing. And then of course Maddie or Katie and Ursula get back right then, and they're like, "What's going on?" They experience none of the zombie power outage chaos. I love that. And then Ursula is like, "All right, you. Good thing I put boys crashing the sleepover in the itinerary." Womp womp. Oh, that means we get to stay then? No, I'm driving you home. Okay. Um, yeah, that brings up the point of like, how far do they live from each other's houses? Like, are they
Yeah.
like driving distance?
Well,
Cause like,
maybe she just wanted to make sure that they actually left.
yeah, that makes yeah, that makes sense actually. Because I was talking about this with Amy. Like, where do these characters live in relation to each other and the
Right.
school? Like, I I don't know. That's that's um Andy says, if someone doesn't get this makeup off of me, you'll wish there was a zombie here instead of me. And 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 then Gigi said, I'd be glad to, as long as you let me film it for the misinformation blog. And Andy's like, okay. And, and then I love speaking of yeah, well, Sophie is reluctant to get her zombie look off, and that but then Katie drags her away, like, come on, Sophie, time to get that off of you. And then Maddie confronts Emma with the accusation that her powers landed on Emma recently. And like, I've realized that my powers must have left me and then landed on you. And no, that's not what happened. And then Maddie says, well, give them back. And Emma says, I don't know how. And then I assume you've seen Mean Girls.
Yes.
She does the like, so you agree? The thing like, so you agree that you think you're pretty, essentially, because Maddie says like, oh, so you're confirming that you did steal my powers? Like that that's a trap. You trapped her
Yes.
like that. Um and uh and like, well, I know that I know that you've stolen my powers, and so you'd better watch out. And then Emma just fights back. She says, "No, you'd better watch out. Actually, I have powers and you don't. So don't mess with me." Good job, Emma. Woo,
Yes.
I'm proud of you. Heck yeah. So what's wrong? What's gotten into you? I don't know. Maybe it's the Foolio moon, as you say. Because of course Maddie can't say full moon right.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I was wondering about that. I thought she said Julio Moon.
yeah, because the full moon is what's
Yes.
going on.
Okay.
So I don't know, but whatever it is, I'm not backing down. She says that. So just let me eat my pizza in peace. And then Maddie's just like, oh, okay. And takes a bite of her pizza. That was a great scene. Um, and then for some reason, the next morning, the living room looks like a hurricane hit. Like literally like it didn't look this messy in the last shot, but yeah, everything's like spilled over. Plants are knocked over. There's oh, also for some reason the trap that they trapped the zombie in involved confetti. Remember that?
Yes.
What? Why did it have confetti? That uh, and so then Ursula uses a spell to turn the plant upright, and Emma sees it and like, what? You have powers? Uh, is it the full moon that gave them to you? Yes, it's the full moon. And Emma's like, oh, okay, that's weird then. And then Sophie overhears this that Emma finds out that Maddie's mom has powers, and then she just blurts out like, oh, I don't have to keep the secret anymore. That she has Maddie's powers. They're Maddie's powers? Oh dear. You now Emma knows. You have an obligation to tell her. You have to tell her. Like she's been accusing me of taking them. Well, can't we just go with that? Says Maddie's mom. Maddie's mom is shameless.
Yes.
Um, uh, um, but like, she's at least entertaining about it. So
Yes. She's another one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um and so then Ursula, um when she ties Emma up with a bow tie, when Emma's like, "You better tell Maddie or I will." She turns to leave the room and tell Maddie, but Ursula uses a spell to tie her up with a bow tie, or like a wrapping paper bow. Um and then and I was like, "Excuse me now? What did you think that was gonna do? Like, I can still walk, you know." No, you can't. She makes her unable to walk anymore. And then Emma hops around in a circle to face her again. Like, what? Really? And and then Sophie's about to leave. Like, uh-oh, Maddie! But then Kat gets a spell cast on her to turn her into a wind-up doll that stops
Yes.
her in place. Um, and uh, and Sophie shouts like, "Oh no, Maddie's mom's gone berserk!" And no one's going anywhere, anywhere. And then they get into a magic fight, uh, over which Emma tries to cast a spell, but then Maddie's mom responds by casting a spell in her direction to make her hands stick together like glue. But then the spell hits Maddie, who's entering the room instead, and then her hands are just dripping with glue, like literally globs of like Elmer's glue.
Yes. I was very confused by this point.
How do you mean?
I was like, well, I don't understand any of this drama that's going on.
Sure, just like, oh, Maddie's not supposed to know that like
Yes.
they're her powers. You use
Yes.
that.
I was confused at this point, but then uh, I mean I started following soon after.
Yeah, because they lay it all out
Yes, they do.
pretty concretely in the following conversation,
Yes.
because Maddie is confused at this at first, but then realizes what she just saw her mom do.
Yes.
You have my powers? Uh, yes, yes, I have your powers. Happy? Like, oh, uh, uh, so Maddie's mom told the truth for once, and I guess she wants a cookie for it. You know, I, see, I told the truth. Give me credit for it. And then apparently Emma just goes right home after this. This is a this is apparently the point where she goes home, and it's apparently the time when she's just like, when I was watching this first, I assumed that this was like later, like the next day, or when the weekend was over or something.
Yes.
But she's like being more loose with her magic and using it on anything she wants, like to make breakfast, like, oh, making the milk float around and casting spell to make the breakfast appear and such. And she makes a milk carton float, and right as Daniel comes in, she's like, "Oh no, Daniel can't see what's going on." Uh, oh, did, was this? Were you confused about the point of like? So Daniel obviously knows that magic exists, but they're keeping the
Yes.
fact that she has her powers again from him. Like, did you? How confused were you there?
I was still confused there too, because I didn't as I was it's still at this point I didn't know who knew about magic, who knew about who had magic, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, makes sense. Um. Yeah. Do, would you say you understand it at least decently well by this
Yes.
point?
Yes.
Okay, good. Um. So Andy has to wrangle the floating milk carton, and she like shakes it like shakes it around. She
Yes.
spills it everywhere, and she's like, "Oh, it's just one of those exploding milk cartons. You never seen those?" Uh, no. Well, actually, yeah. But well, good. Well, good. Then you have a precedent for it. Then so help me by grabbing the mop. It's in the closet. And and then Emma mouths, "Thank you." Like, good job, Andy. And then but then we realize it's the school morning right after this sleepover at this point. Like, what? So you had all this on a school night. What? Great. So why didn't you host the 10th annual like Van Pelt sleepover uh, on on a Friday night? Like, really? What? I don't know. Um, dead horse. I know. Um, so so then Ursula tries to sort of defend her actions, being like, "Well, I was keeping your powers safe. What are you talking about? I was I can use them for to protect against uh dangerous witches who might come after you." Just being real theatrical about it. Refuge in audacity, I guess. I'm like, "Oh, evil witches? Yeah. Who might try and steal my powers? Yeah. You did that. You're the evil witch." That I love that. Matt, good on you, Maddie. And then Ursa was like, "Whew, I walked right into that one," which is great. And did you notice Ursula's necklace in this moment? It
No. Oh
it's
no. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
it looks like a bunch of pomegranate slices, but like bejeweled, made in made out of like gemstones.
Yes.
It's so extra. Like this show like had a sizable budget for statement necklaces.
Yes.
Like they, I could like you know the website that catalogs all of the outfits in the Gem cartoon, like
Yes.
every single one for every single character, like which episodes they appear in and whatnot. Um, I could do that for the statement necklaces in this show. Just catalog every single one. Um, I I sort of want to make a like have an icon of every single one. Make a funny YouTube video making an every which way statement necklace tier list.
Oh, there we go. That would be right up your alley.
Yeah, or a ranking video like number 89. This one. It, yeah. That this show really has a thing for it. I want to like meet. I want to talk to whoever the costume coordinator was and ask them what was the purpose behind that. Um, I'm guessing it was just someone involved who just really liked them. Um, and so but then Maddie's mom says like, we need a conduit to transfer the powers back. It's not so easy. Well, then let's just go get a conduit, says Maddie. And then Emil just at school, she just uses a spell to get people out of her way in the hallway. Out of my way, keep out of my way. um, you could easily match a lot of scenes in this show to Gem music videos.
Oh, totally.
And then Jax chides her for it. They're like, "Oh, you're using spells a lot, aren't for important things, aren't you? Like getting people out of your way in the hallway." Well, that was very important to me. I love that. And well, we gotta just make it through 2 more weeks of the full moon. And then he manipulates Emma into cutting class. Like, "Oh, I have a problem with the full moon too, but I can't tell you here. I need to tell you at the beach instead." She doesn't catch on to what he's doing.
Right.
I I think to most people it'll be pretty obvious what he's trying to do. I need to tell you at the beach. Hmm. But and then well, I don't know. And then Daniel comes up, revealing that as a punishment for destroying the trophy case earlier. This happened in the last episode before you watched.
Okay.
He he has to audition for the school play, which is Romeo and Juliet. Um, uh, what then? What did you think of the audition montage?
Oh, I like that part.
Yes, yeah, that I unironically the two best performances were Katie and Sophie.
Yes, definitely. I like how Sophie like went through the entire play.
Yeah, she recited the entire thing, and by the time where she asked, "Did I get the part?" Everyone, like Francisco, was asleep.
Yes.
Also, for some reason, Sophie is the co-director of the play. Like
Yes.
she's helping out with the auditions. Um, and we get a whole bunch of the auditions, including Daniel's, who's super wooden, and a couple other guys who are even worse, like like uh ROMIO Romeo. Did I get it right? Ha 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 ha. And that guy is clearly very aggressive
Yes.
and a bully of some sort. Because he's the meathead, you see. Um, and then there's the really shy girl. To be or not to be, that is the question. Yeah. What? And, um, yeah. And but but what? But sorry, I skipped ahead forward a little bit. But when Daniel talks about auditioning for Romeo and Juliet, Jack says, "Oh, that's so lame." But Emma says, "Oh, that's so romantic."
Yes.
And and Jack's when they're driven further together by this, because he engineered this, because he's actually the one who broke the trophy case, but Daniel got blamed for it.
Yes.
And then you cast a spell on Principal Alonso to have him do the school play. So he's engineering all this through magic to try and split them apart, Emma and Daniel apart, but it's actually getting them closer together. So in this moment, I love this. Jax gives a "doh" silently. He invokes his inner Homer Simpson. "Doh." But and also misinformation is recording the conversation, and is like, "Oh, this is so adorable." Oh, oh. Misinformation is awesome. She's very entertaining.
Yes.
But then they're like, um, but Jack's when Emma's like, "Oh, I don't know if I can go to the beach. Andy's having an emergency right now. I need to help her out." And she's like, "Oh, of course. But I'll still try and go. Maybe Andy'll want to go too." And he's like, "Great." Yeah, it's pretty obvious what he's trying, what he's putting
Yes.
down. And then Maddie tells Diego the updates on her mom, and like, "Yeah, my mom was keeping my powers for herself, and Katie was keeping the secret, and so as a punishment, I'm having her carry my giant travel makeup case." But why is Katie carrying it as well? Well, you know the rules. If one of us keeps a secret, both of us get punished. So that there's a lot of rules that Maddie keeps in their Panther group, and of course none of them go the other way. She's just
Of course.
she's the boss. She's the undisputed ruler, the Queen Panther. Yeah, my mom was trying to fool me, saying that another witch had my powers, and maybe that she was in some fake place called Ecuador. Or sorry, Ecuador. That was how Maddie's mom delivered it episodes ago. She said Ecuador. And then Diego's like, "Wait, really? That's a real place?" And then Maddie gives him the evil eye. No. Oh, you mean Ecuador? Oh yeah, that's totally fake. Yeah. because sometimes you gotta humor your partner.
Oh, yes.
Um, and well, anyway, I heard you have to use something called a condominium in order to transfer powers back. Oh, you mean a conduit? Yeah, like the principal tried to use me to do? Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that wasn't pleasant for me at all. I almost got disintegrated into a pile of dust. I wouldn't want to do that again. And clearly Maddie was trying to get him to do that, but then she's like, "Oh, yeah, I guess I can't." um, but they sort of figure out a way around it later.
Okay.
They definitely do.
I was wondering about that.
The plastic wrap will apparently definitely protect him from
Oh,
getting
yes.
disintegrated. Yeah. Um. But one of my favorite jokes is in this next scene here. Like, this is a joke that stuck in my mind like throughout the years since this show came out. That that like this is really good. Andy says that she can't skip class and go to the beach. She has to give a French presentation. Oh, why is it about croissants? Says Emma, because she has a tray of croissants. No, I'm just gonna pass these out to everyone so that everyone will be too distracted by eating them to realize that my presentation is muy mal. That's Spanish. Like I said, muy mal. She doesn't know her French. Get it? Um, um like I said, I gotta distract them. And then yeah, Jax and Emma discuss sneaking out. Like, if you can't tell a transport away, you gotta sneak out. And then Gigi overhears this. I'm like, ooh. And so then Jax teleports away, and then Emma sneaks out. And meanwhile, though, Francisco is the one directing Romeo and Juliet. He's the principal and the director of the play because no other teacher wanted to do it.
Right.
We already talked about this, though. So Katie gives a very impassioned reading. Romeo, oh Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? And, and I was like, I wrote in my notes, Katie's is unironically the best so far, and I wrote that immediately before seeing Sophie's. Sophie's is very committed.
Yes, very.
Romeo, oh Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? And then we get a montage of several fades in time later. So she's just continuing to recite more and more of the play as more and more people are getting drowsy and falling asleep. Uh, and by and when by the end she's recited the entire play, apparently, by memory.
That's commitment.
Yeah, that's impressive. Good,
Mm-hmm.
good for you, Sophie. That she well, I mean, she also has. Oh no, actually, she probably doesn't have it in her memory. She has it in her. She has it in her play box,
Yes.
which is separate from her favor box.
How many boxes does this girl have?
She has boxes for everything. Are you kidding me? uh, um. Uh, yeah. Yeah. She pull out her favors from the favor box, and yeah. But then Jax reveals that he brought Emma to the beach as a date. This is my problem, that you're not having fun enough with magic. Oh, and then he like lifts up a piece of cake and smashes it on her face. Ha ha! Jax, what? How about this? Like throws a cupful of punch onto him. Well, yeah, I don't need my powers to have a food fight. Hey.
And I do have to appreciate that this was filmed on location, or at least appeared to be filmed on location.
Oh yeah, genuinely, you can hear the sounds of the waves
Yes.
actually. And like the sound isn't perfectly done, but that shows you their commitment. Like they
Yeah,
went
I
to
mean, the show has obviously had a decent budget.
for locations, yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I there's like we see the beach a lot more even in the next season.
Oh, nice.
And like we saw the beach a couple times in the first season, so clearly they were fine with that.
Good.
Um, so then they just roughhouse around having a food fight at the beach during school hours. But but Jax isn't worried about skipping out on school for a reason. Um, and but me and meanwhile, Maddie put Katie and Sophie in exile. Essentially, she's cast them out. And like when they try and talk to her, she's like, "Do I hear this buzzing sound? This annoying buzzing sound?" Oh boy, that man. She, oof. Um, and and like then they force Diego aside, and they're like, they try and convince him to be the conduit, and he's like, "Well, I don't want to get disintegrated." Well, this could be the ultimate grand gesture. Well, that may be true, but it's not for good for anything if I get disintegrated. But we have a way to protect you. You do? Yeah. And then Sophie's like, "We do?" Yes, Sophie. I saw it in that old book that we found in Maddie's basement. Do do any houses in Florida have basements? I don't think they do. Um, if anyone's listening and can correct me on this, let me know. But yeah. So, but they're like, yeah, we can have a way to protect you. But then we cut to a class where Emma's missing. Like, Emma Alonso? Oh, she's not here. And Daniel's like, I could have sworn she was here. I saw her earlier. Daniel Miller? Here. Jax Navoa? Here. And you're like, and the audience is like, what? How is Jax there? And then we cut back to the beach, but he's also there. What? and and then they get back, and like Emma and Jax walk a certain way in the hallway at the opposite direction of Gigi coming out of her class, and she says, "I just had the weirdest deja vu of seeing Jax," and then Principal Alonso calls Emma to the office and reams her out for cutting 5 classes in a row, as he says it. But how am I the only one in trouble? You're punishing us? What do you mean us? Me and the other ones who got in trouble. But you're the only one who skipped any class. All the other students were here. And she's like, what? But she can't explain why. and then we get a cute scene. Emma confides in Daniel how scared she is of detention. And he's like, well, you can get through it just by, get there on time and, just keep true to yourself, essentially. And, well, I wish you were there to keep me company. Not that I want you in trouble. And then he says, I know what you mean. We love good, healthy relationships.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think this is definitely a healthier relationship than the Jem Rio relationship.
Oh, totally.
I mean, there's still secret keeping, but I forgive this one more,
Yes.
I mean, it's not perfect, of course, but it's better. And then he deliberately gets detention again so that he can keep Emma company. Now that's a true good boyfriend right there.
Yeah, I thought that was sweet.
Yeah, really sweet. Meanwhile, Jax is just a manipulative jerk.
Yes.
Who relies on stacking the deck, as it were, and manipulating the game. Did this next scene affect you at all? Because I found it like I got a bit choked up in this next scene.
Oh yes, it did.
Like this felt real.
It really
it
did.
because Andy runs into Maddie with and like bumps into her with her croissants and expects Maddie to just say some quippy outburst or something, but Maddie doesn't say anything. She just like fights back a tear and then turns around and runs into what Andy points out is the janitor's closet and and like swallowing her pride for a minute. Andy goes into the janitor's closet after Maddie to see what's up and like this is not normal. Something's wrong.
This is probably my favorite scene of the 2 episodes.
Yeah, but I think this sealed the deal on this being my favorite chunk of episodes that I've covered.
Yes.
Because like she's she goes into the janitor's closet. She sees Maddie like genuinely like with a tear streaming down her face and and uh and offers her a towel to wipe her tear or like
Yes.
like a bit of toilet paper or something, some tissues or something. And 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 also offers her a croissant, like one of the
Yes.
3 croissants left. And and you you like this is a real thing how like what when you feel sad and emotional you start to sort of like just munch on food and such.
Oh, yes. I'm a big emotional and stress eater.
Yeah, that's what that was just a little detail that helped sell it. It was so effective actually. Uh, um and, and yeah, this is one of the best scenes the show has ever given us.
Oh,
Like
really?
I think so. Like um that like cuz she just as like to these characters who are like enemies most of the time like or like they don't get along and like they pick on each other a lot. They they share a connection for a brief moment.
Yes.
Uh, like and and like Andy allows Maddie, who's clearly going through it, to just spill her guts, like just have a shoulder to cry on for a bit. Like, well, my I just found out that my mom was stole my powers from me, and my best friends were keeping the secret. But like, I know that Maddie, you know, is not the most likable character, like in general, but like even I, who's like seeing all the awful things that she does day to day, is like, wow, that like yeah, I feel for you. That is rough. Um,
Yes.
so essentially, Maddie says, like with tears streaming down her cheeks, like my mom betrayed me, my friends betrayed me, like I and and then like the bit that really broke me was when she said like these past few weeks without my powers, they've been really miserable. I, like I I don't know who to trust anymore. I don't even know who I am anymore. Jeez, this show, man, it it's like kudos to Maddie's
Yes.
actress Paris Smith. Kudos, you did a great job with this. Really, like that, like really believable. Like trying to hold back crying. That was really good. Uh, um, at, and Andy's actress too, Daniela Neves, of like being a like just like like showing the empathy that Andy is feeling in this moment. Like like of course having to swallow her pride a bit and to like be there for someone who's, you know, as Andy has spelled out before, been a bully to her throughout her whole life. She casts she casts any like grudges aside to like get to like offer a helping hand uh, to like something that like any just about anyone can relate to as being like yeah, horrendous thing to go through. Just like people betray you in that way, even so, even like those you love, like they just want power or like or things like that. I mean, it. I mean, it's relatable, of course, not in terms of like actual magical power in our lives, but it was like really it was really well written that moment. Like it played like someone who like how someone would of that age would phrase it, like actually like feeling sad, but like trying to hold back and like be like presentable in a way, and the way, yeah, how both actors played it. Yeah, kudos all around. I got choked up a bit. And I that's never happened to me before in this show, other than like, well, like we've gotten hints at Maddie's vulnerability before, never to this extent. Um, like all the other times it's either been like super brief or like more lighthearted and like immediately undercut. But this one doesn't. It goes all the way. Um, and then, but we do get a comedic. We get a lighthearted end to the scene though, as Andy tries to pump her back up by saying like, "Hey, like I know you're feeling confused about yourself, but we all see you as the Maddie Van Pelt that you have been, like ruling the school, drinking smoothies, and intimidating everyone. You really think so?" Yeah, uh, it was like it was heartwarming and funny. Uh, it's like because like, yeah, like Maddie's headspace is off from what what any like normal persons would be, like any, like she's obviously not the normal type of caring person normally, but but she's like, you really think so, that like, but she's like, yeah, go conquer the school, go conquer the world like you always do. Okay. And that but then we the kicker on that is then looking at each other like, with them realizing like what they're doing, like, we're just we're are we opening up emotionally and vulnerably to like our arch nemesis? Did we really just do that? And then they say in unison, don't tell anyone what just happened. Deal. Perfect ending to that scene. Then they just leave, and she puts the bitten croissant back on the tray. Love it. Perfect Maddie moment. It was great. And then we sort of get another like emotional catharsis, like capper, when Diego and the Panthers tell Maddie that they'll actually use a transfer. They'll actually do the transfer with Diego being the conduit to help get her powers back, and which was pretty nice as well. I think that them showing like solidarity amongst each other, like, hey, we're actually gonna do this, like, and and how Diego like forces them, like, even though Maddie is mad at Maddie getting mad, um, at both Katie and Sophie, like, I don't even want to talk to you, but he's like, tell her what we agreed on. Well, we're gonna do the transfer, and Diego's gonna help, and if we use plastic wrap, Diego probably won't get disintegrated. Yeah, probably. Sure, let's go with that. And then yeah, just a couple more scenes left where Emma goes to meet Daniel at the Seven, and uses a spell to help him ha- to help him learn his lines for the play. And apparently he is having to learn the entirety of the play because he's understudying for all of the characters. And also, if Daniel messes up at all, then he get then the deal that him and Mr. Alonso struck is that is going to be off, to like waiving his weeks of detention in exchange for doing the school play. But if he messes up, he's getting the detention back. Um, and then Emma's like, "Yep, sounds like my dad." Man, Emma's dad goes for the extremes sometimes, uh, and like can just be vindictive, I suppose. but then Emma does a nice thing by casting a spell on Daniel to help him memorize all his lines, and then he's able to like recite the whole thing. He does so for the misinformation camera. What a sweet couple. Her using her powers secretly to help him out with what he needs. Uh, that's I imagine I would do that for a partner if I had powers like that. And and then in the final scene of the episode, Jax finally tells Emma how he was able to not get in trouble for skipping school. How he apparently was able to call in as present for school. We get a bombshell of a spell reveal. So many places to go, people to see. I can't do them all, so make another one of me. He's able to. He knows the spell to clone oneself. A cloning spell exists. Whoa. And that's where we're left with. It's a big revelation, huh? Imagine how many hijinks are going to be caused with that. Um, and so yeah, clones running around doing different things. So yeah, that concludes our episodes that we watched today. Is there anything else that you want to say about what we watched today, Michael? Anything else that you want to bring up? Yeah. The tan skirt. Yeah, that I agree. They have they yeah. I can imagine how tortured Maddie must feel having to put those colors in combination because she's super fashion conscious. Yeah, yeah, they certainly are. Uh, I want to do like an entire just exploration of the show's like art direction and costume design. There's a lot to explore there. There's so many like weird things about it and like fixations that they have, and like there's so many clashing patterns on in the art direction. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. I agree. Exactly. Um, yeah, but um, well, I won't put this in the episode, but well, one at least one person involved has reported that some people involved with the show were weird in that sort of way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's disturbingly common. Uh, yeah, the, yeah, but, yeah. One of the actors involved, like said that like one they didn't name the person, but they said that someone high up in the show was creepy in a similar way. That's yeah. Um, I wa- like I don't know many more details than that, and we don't need to delve into it, especially because like this person has like since like disappeared like all their social media off the internet entirely. I don't want to say who it is, but anyway, um, yeah, that's a whole thing. But sorry to have bring a letdown to this whole thing. Um, yeah, well, and yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the show, and it was really enjoyable to have you on. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, and so next up we'll have more every which way episodes for you, including Double Trouble and the Emma Squad, both of which you can imagine involve cloning hijinks. We've So now with this, we're halfway through season 2, or just about. Let's see. Nope, not quite halfway. There's 23 episodes. We're through episode 10 of season. We're almost halfway. Um, so, but next episode after this next batch of 2 episodes that we do, then we'll be halfway, over halfway. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're making good progress here. So it was yeah. Thanks again, Michael, for being on. It was great to be with you, and thank you for taking the time. So yeah, I want to say stay outrageous, everyone, and take care. Follow EveRe-Watch Way. Share it around to people that you know. And follow, and definitely if you enjoyed Michael's contributions, listen to the Gem Boys podcast. I'll include links to that in the description when I share this episode out. And yeah, so everyone have an excellent week. Take care, and finally, best magical wishes.